Bo Deely, and welcome to Something Edible.
So you're at the end of your holiday feast, and all that remains is a shell of a bird. What do you do with that turkey carcass that you can't pick off enough leftovers out of to really save? Well, it looks like it's a big waste, but it's not. What we want to do with that is you want to make turkey stock, and it's really easy to make, especially if you have a slow cooker. All you need really is a little bit of time to make it. So today I'm going to show you how to make turkey stock in your slow cooker. It's wonderful stuff, and once you get started making this, then you'll look forward to the holidays every year just so you can get what remains of the bird. So let's make some stock. To make slow cooker turkey stock, you need a crock pot. You need a pretty big one. I mean, we're talking 5.5, 6 quarts. And you need water. And we need about 9 cups we're talking about 2.5 pounds of turkey carcass. It's a carcass. So 2.5 pounds of turkey carcass for your 9 cups of water, and just add them to the pot. Try not to make a mess. You will usually get about 2.5 pounds of bones off of a 12 to 15 pound bird. It's a pretty good rule of thumb, and if you don't hit it exactly, it's not a huge deal. This is just about enough to fill up your crock pot without being dangerous later. So that's it. I'm going to set this to low, and that's it. That's how you make stock. Okay, well, it's not. It's really that simple, but you're going to want to add some flavor to it later too. And to do that, we've got some aromatics here. I've got an onion, got a couple carrots, and I got a couple stalks of celery, tops included. If they look a little wilty or a little yellow like this, not a big deal. All you're going to do is simmer the bejesus out of these anyway. So, you know, if they look ugly now, doesn't really matter. They're going to look even uglier later. So, but you don't want to add these until this is gone for a good 6 hours. All right, at this point it's been 6 hours, and our stock is ready to be finished. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to put these veggies into the stock. Why do we wait 6 hours before we put the veggies in? Well, it's real simple. We want the flavors to come through. We want these flavors to be bright in these vegetables. We add these vegetables for flavor, and if you add them too soon, then you're just going to get a bunch of muddy, washed out vegetables, and that's not what you want. But if you save the vegetables to the very end, then you're going to get the best flavor out of the vegetables first, and it's going to leave all those muddy, nasty flavors behind. So to this pot, I'm going to add 1 onion, small to medium size, quartered. You don't have to chop it up a whole bunch. You want it easier to fish out later. I'm also going to take 4 celery stalks. Just give them a rough chop. You want those tops too. That's where the flavor's at. And finally, we're going to add 2 medium-sized carrots. And again, just take the dirty parts off and just chop them up real big. Those bits go into the pot, and we're going to lid up and let that go for another 2 hours. And then we will have stock. All right, so after your 6 hours in and then another 2 hours with your veg, then this stuff's ready to come out. So what you want to do is you just want to get in there and grab the big chunks, and just enough so you can start to get a ladle in there and then start to filter things out. You don't have to be too gentle with the stuff. It's going to fall apart. It's going to be messy. And I don't think I would save any of that meat. It's given all it has to the stock. I mean, if you want to save the meat, take it off the bones and give it to your favorite canine, I guess. But just make sure you don't give them any bones. That's not good for them. They don't need those onions either. Don't give them those either. But the meat, it doesn't taste like anything, and they'll probably enjoy it. And once you get the big chunks out, you'll want to strain. I've got a gravy separator, but you don't have to use that. Put 2 layers of cheesecloth in there. You will want to use cheesecloth in whatever you're straining. And then just start to ladle your stock over that cheesecloth. This, after an overnight chill, this is what we're left with. This is our turkey stock. Now, you might have noticed throughout this whole thing, I never talked about salt once. Salt in your stock, don't do that, because really you never know what you're going to use this stock for, and it just makes sense to season your dish and not the stock. So, you know, a lot of cooking shows like to use the low sodium chicken broth. That's the same reasoning behind that. You want to make sure that your salt's added to your dish, not your stock. So we'll leave the salt out. I'm a bit of a salt hound, but not this time. We just leave it that way. So obviously, unless you're making soup for a legion, you're just not going to use as much stock at once. So what we want to do is we want to put some of this up. And about the best way to do it is to freeze it. And so what I'm doing here is I got a scale, and I got some bags that I'm going to label. I labeled this one, turkey stock, and the date. These are freezer bags, and each one is about a quart. And you don't want to overfill these, so put about a pint in here. And since everybody knows a pint's a pound the world around, and this is mostly water anyway, then I have my scale out, and I don't have to guess. I don't have to fill it up, you know, pour it out of a pitcher into a bag or anything awkward like that. I'm just gonna tear my scale. I got a yogurt container here, and I got my bag in here, and you just ladle out. And the texture on this stuff, I mean, I tell you what, this is where it's at. I mean, you see all the gelatin and all that stuff that makes soups taste good. All that kind of flavor is in this stock. I mean, you can literally rest a spoon on top of this stuff, and it's not going to go anywhere. So, I mean, you want to talk about giving a soup body, or, you know, this is where it's at. A little bit more. I'm at 15 1/4. If I can nail 16, I sure will. I got a scale. I might as well use it. Okay, that's a pound. So I got a pint right there. So the next step is get the air out of that thing as much as you can. And then I have a cookie sheet here. And what I'm doing is I'm going to lay these flat on this cookie sheet and let it freeze that way. For a couple of reasons. If you're freezing them on a cookie sheet like this, then you're maximizing your surface area, and it's going to freeze quicker. And when it's done, I got one around here somewhere. When they're done, they look like this. And they are easy. It's almost like you can file these things away. So this is what it looks like when it's frozen. So it makes it super easy to get these out. You want to thaw this out later, you can just run some cold water over it, rip the bag off, and put it straight in the pot to thaw out. They thaw super quick that way too. So, you know, so the next time you got a bird, don't waste it. I mean, you got plenty of good stuff in here to make fantastic meals. So if you want to try this slow cooker turkey stock, impossibly easy. There's no reason why you shouldn't. You need to log on to hdnews.net, the Hayes Daily News' website, and you can get the recipe there. You can also get the recipe from my website, somethingedible.com. And I understand if you just go out and try to Google slow cooker turkey stock, see what happens. I bet you'll find it. But you can find the recipe that way. And then also, if you have questions, then talk to me. You know, throw me a tweet. You know, hit me up on the Something Edible fan page on Facebook and ask me a question. So until next time, don't waste your bird. Make you some stock.